husband's not here, but nevertheless we say that she would have Ramya Nafshay, she would have recognized.
Furthermore, she said cycle. She doesn't think about it.
According to the Rambam, she has a set cycle. Let's see. We'll go do the Gemara further. It's only okay. Amar Reish Lakish Mishum Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya. Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya is a grandson of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. He's on the chart up here. Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya.
Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya. He was in Nasi. Don't hear much about it.
This is the decline. During the decline of the house of the Nasi, Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya, maybe like towards the end, it still went on, but it wasn't like Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, and that's why the yeshivas in Bavel were stronger, as opposed to when Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was around, and everyone was coming from Bavel. The important people, Rabbi Rav, they went to learn by Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. In the sea, it's sort of like going the other way. So anyway, but Reish Lakish says in the name of Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya that that's only if he took a trip and he traveled and he came back within 30 days, because then she didn't become tamei.
We really had this already.
Yeah.
Remember when we talked? May have been just an illustration of this. Is how if the husband is a donkey driver or this or that. But I noticed when we had that example, it didn't say anything that takes him away a long time. It didn't say he's a camel driver or a sailor.
No, it's there though.
There's things that are short.
That had to do with Yerushalayim.
No, but he said like, בספן, אחד לשישה חודשים, הוא בא.
Yeah. We didn't. Did we had that Gemara? I don't remember that. We had that Gemara. We had it.
I don't remember.
We had it in Rashi and Chumash.
No, we had it here.
Okay.
Here it had to do with the man being hurt.
Okay. So it says like this. This is only if he comes and he finds that she's during her Aina. This is where we introduce the concept of an Aina Bainis, which is 30 days. Let's say she has a ves kavua. Rashi's shita is, and it's learned from here. Usually we say a woman that has a ves kavua does not have an aina bainis. It's usually what we say. Aina bainis is a 30-day cycle that a woman needs to do an examination to see if she sees blood, and the aina bainis. But if she has a set cycle, the aina bainis doesn't apply. But Rashi holds that it does. And anyway, let's see. That's only if there's no reason that for her to have seen. If it was longer than that, then yes. Amar Rav Huna leishanu ala shein laveses. Rav Huna says we're talking about a woman that doesn't have a veses. Avol yesh laveses, but what's the leishanu? Rashi says the leishanu, that when do we say that if he comes during the aina, which means within 30 days, that she doesn't need an examination, that's when she doesn't have a veses. But if she has a veses, also l'shamish, then he can't be with her. When it says klapilaya, klapilaya means turn it around. Adrab, it's exactly the opposite. Ibcha mistaber, it should be the opposite. Ein laveses, if she doesn't have a set cycle, ein machazoi, then maybe she saw any time. We don't know what causes her to see. So he has to ask her. But yesh laveses, if she has a set cycle, so veskvil, it's not the veses, so she should be fine. So it should have said it the other way. Eli itmar hachi itmar. Rather, if it's stated, so it should be stated. Amar Rav Huna says, Leishanu ala shlei gia shas vesta. That's only if her time of her seeing didn't arrive. In other words, he came home from the trip, and it was a short trip. It was within a 2-week trip or something. Avli gia shas vesta. But if her time for seeing arrived, asura, then she's forbidden, because kasavar vestis deraisa. He holds that the anticipated time of seeing is so strong, it's a deraisa, that if she doesn't do an examination at that time, she's automatically tamei, even without seeing anything.
Right, because she has a vesses.
The vesses makes her tamei. We don't have such a concept. We don't have such a concept. We have our You do a bedika on the vest.
But I'm saying,
And if she sees good, if not, then
but if you forgot to do bedika,
if you forgot to do a bedika, she's not tamei. She doesn't have to wait 7 days and go to the
she's
mikveh.
not considered becheskas tamei, even though she has
Becheskas tamei until she does a bedika, but she doesn't make her tamei.
Does it go? Meaning, if she finds on the bedika, she does it. Let's say a day late.
That's a different story. Does it go back to that? That we'll see on the next page. That we'll see on the next
She
page.
has a feeling, or she doesn't have a feeling?
When she does an examination, we ignore all
Doesn't matter,
feelings
yeah.
because we say the examination is like the dentist shaking the cheek. That we don't know what feeling she had. When he does the dentist shakes the cheek when he's putting the needle in, so you don't feel anything.
He smacks you while he does it.
Rabbi Bar Chana says, "Amar afilu yeshas vesta nami muteres." Even if the time of the vesses came, she's mutter. Kasav vesses derabanan.
Turn the page.
Rashi adds in, if he's not in the city and he doesn't know if she did a bedika or not, we don't say that she's tummy. Interesting. Ravashi Masni Hachi. Ravashi teaches it like this. Amar Rav Huna. Rav Huna says, Lo yishanu ela she'ein la vestes liyamim ela yesh la vestes liyamim lekvitzis. Remember this one? She has a combined vest of whenever she does certain sort of aerobics. On certain days, on the Sunday afternoon in the gym, she gets her every 3-4 weeks. She gets her dam. So she doesn't have a vesli yamim. She has a vesli yamim lekvitzas. That combination. Now, kivan de b'maisa talimel. So since she needs an action that for her to know that it actually comes. So maybe she didn't jump. We can say she didn't jump and she didn't see. But if she has a set time to see, with it nothing to do with actions, asur l'shamish. You cannot be with her. Why? Because kasavar vestis deraisa. Why? She's automatically tummy because her vestis came. Her anticipated time came, and she's automatically tummy. Rabbi Bar Chana Amar Afil Yesh Leves Yamin. Even if she only has a vestis without a combination, and still mutaris because kasavar vestis derabanan. Okay, so this different version over here just added in that vestis for yamim and kvitzas together would allow her if she didn't do the kvitzas, even according to Rav Huna. Amar Rav Shmuel Mishmei de Rav Yochanan. Rav Shmuel says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Now this must be someone else because usually it's Shmuel, not Rav Shmuel. It's just plain Shmuel. There's no Rav there. Any notes by you? And Shmuel himself didn't go to Rabbi Yochanan, as far as we know. Rabbi Yochanan wanted to go to Shmuel, we learned. Isha sheyesh la vestes, a woman that has a set cycle, baila machashiv yimei vesto baala. The husband can calculate the days of her cycle and figure out that even if it came, she had already opportunity to go to the mikveh, and she's going to be tar. You follow this? This is an extra. She has a set cycle, and he's not coming before the cycle. He's coming after the cycle, but he's calculating that she would have already gone to the mikveh as well.
To Rabbi Yasi over here, he said, "Why don't you just
ask her?
Yeah, like why go
Just
through the
ask her.
whole
Yeah, we're
cycle?
talking about that she's half asleep or groggy, like Taisa said.
But then he can't be with her anyway.
No, groggy. We said yes.
So then he can't talk to her.
You can't get a straight answer. This is when the children ask, can I go to my friend's house? You know, they ask a lot when she's on the phone with someone else. And she's like, yes. He's like, you told me I could go. You said, yeah. It's like, they're half asleep. That's when they get the answers. Okay, Amalei Rav Shmuel Bar Yeva or Rav Abba. Rav Shmuel Bar Yeva says to Rav Abba, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, did Rabbi Yochanan say the following? We said Shmuel said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan that he can calculate that she went to the mikvah already. Afilu yalda de bezizal mitfal. Would we say that it's even by? Let's learn one pshat. There's two pshat. It's even by a child that's ashamed, a young girl that's ashamed to use the mikvah. I guess when they're younger, they're more ashamed to be there in the undressed. When they're older, so it's more natural. But even someone that's ashamed, it's a big deal to get her to use the mikveh, public bath. Would you say that she definitely went to the mikveh? He wasn't in town. The second shot is Taisvis that says, are we even talking about a yalda, a woman that gave birth, that's afraid to use the mikveh because it's too much energy for her to go to the mikveh right after her birth? That even her, we assume that she went to the mikveh. Amalei, he says, Atu vaday rasa, miyam Rabbi Yochanan. Did Rabbi Yochanan say that she definitely saw? Eimadam Rabbi Yochanan safik rasa, safik loy rasa. We don't know that she saw. He went away. He's coming back after she possibly saw. V'imtim tzlaim rasa, if you want to say that she saw, eima tavla. So it's a suffix if she saw, and even if on the tzad that she saw. So, but it could be she went to the mikveh, like a svek sveka. If she definitely saw, then, and we don't know if she went to the mikveh, then that's a suffix in a vade, vein suffix maitzimi de vade. You don't say a suffix. I met a guy in Australia that was from Germany. He said he left right after, his family left right by Kristallnacht. Just like this week or something, Kristallnacht, right? So he said, how did your family know to leave? Everyone else thought that, he said, no, it was a suffix in a vadai. He said, vadai, we can't stay here. Where we go, all of that is a suffix. Ain't suffix mitzvah de vadai. That's okay. So the Gemara says, so it says, V'loi, we don't say a suffix is mitzvah de vadai. In other words, our example here is a woman definitely saw. She possibly went to the mikveh. So we don't say that she's tar. He said, no, you don't say that. V'hatanya, but we have a brisa, chaver shemeis, person that keeps all his trumas and maestros, everything is always fixed. And the chaver, he keeps it even betara. He's very careful. He passed away. And he has a container that's full of fruits. Even if they're only 1 day old, they're just harvested. You assume that everything is all fixed up. This is probably like this when certain people with their bank accounts, what bills were paid. Someone that's very on top of it, he's got it all fixed up already. You don't have to worry. The problem is, Vaday Tevel. It's definitely Tevel, right? Definitely Tevel means that it's fruits that's obligated in Meiser, right? It's definitely had that obligation. Suffolk Musa, Suffolk Ain't Musa. The guy passed away. We don't know if he took it or not. He didn't tell us. Hey, you can't ask him. Because he's Suffolk Mitzmi Devadi, and we're saying that it's a Suffolk, and we're saying that that's taking away from the Vadai. We're saying it's all good. The Gemara says, no, Hasan Vadai Vadaihu. That's not a Suffolk. That's a Vadai. Could Rab Chanina Chuzah, like Rab Chanina Chuzah, Dam Rab Chanina Chuzah. Rab Chanina Chuzah says, Chazaka al chaver sheina mitzvah mitachas yadu davar sheina mesukin. There's such a strong chazaka that such a person is so careful that that's considered a vadai. It's like you check your you check, see if your watch is wrong by the yeki what time he comes. He checks it. They say the yeki calls up his wife. He says, "I'm going to be home late tonight because we're starting to save a Saint Talamata." Okay. Shaviba Yasema, we have another teretz. We could do it exactly the opposite. We just said it's a vadai and vadai. Safik, it's going the other way. It's really a safik. Why? Because the Rabbi not by the case of the woman, but by the case of the meiser. How was it? Like Rabbi says, Dam Rabbi Mara Madam Al Tuasa Machnisa B'Mait Shalah. There's a trick that a person can do. That is, that once the grain is ready to eat, then you chayev and meiser. You have to first take off the chaff of the grain, you put it into the silo, and you miruach, you smooth off the top, it's chayev and meiser. A person can take the grain into his house before all of those things were done. Now, officially, he cannot eat from it because suda kavua, because if you eat in a way of kviyas, you're chayev and meiser anyway. But what he's going to do is he's going to bring it into the house and use it for the animal. And he doesn't have to take meiser. That means normally he would have to take meiser even to feed it to his animals. Taisus points out.
Yeah, but if it's food for humans, then you have to take meiser regardless.
And it's food for humans. He's taking it into his house, but he says he's going to use it for animals, and he doesn't have to take meiser because he took it in without doing that whole production outside of finishing it off in the silo and all of that. So what do we see? That we are saying that it's vadai tevel, and the guy dies, and we don't know if he took meiser. We say that it's good. The truth is that it's really not vadai tevel. It could be that a trick was done, and this was a way out of getting it into the house without doing that. So it's a suffix l'suffix. Vakati, but nevertheless, ain't suffix meitzimi devadai. So basically, we didn't have a proof because that's a suffix l'suffix or a vadai uvadai. But we have another story. Vatanya Maisa b'shiv chasi shel masik. There's a story of a maidservant of a guy that he harvests olives. Masik echad b'rimain. Place rimain. Isn't that funny? Is that not pomegranate?
No, a hand grenade.
Is that what they do? That's all the olives fall? No, they have what's it called? They shake the tree and they put the thing around. So, sheitila nefel labar. This maidservant of this fellow that harvests olives, she had a miscarriage, and it was in a pit. Now, uba kayin v'hitzitz b'leidem zacharem nekeva. A kayin comes to see if it was a male or female miscarriage. Why? Because there's going to be a difference how long she's tamei and all of these things. Now, both Rashi and Taisus point out that this kayin is a fool,
right? Because
he's making himself tamei. Kayin shaita, Taisus says. Rashi says he's a kayin amaretz. Now, and the story comes to the Chacham, the Tiru, and they say that he's tar rather. Because there's weasels and bardalas. We used to always translate as a bobcat. Someone told me something else recently. I don't know. What's in namer? A leopard? Okay. They're there, and they would have grabbed it and taken it and eaten it. But over here, what do we have? The vadai tila nefel. Definitely there was a miscarriage. That's a vadai. Suffix or a suffix legaru, because the suffix might be the vadai. You see that a suffix can take away the vadai. Where it says leitem tila nefel labar ela ema kimin nefel. We don't know. We are not saying that it was a real nefel. It was like a nefel. But it says he wants to see if it was male or female. It had to have been a miscarriage. It says hachi kamar. This is what it means to say. She was there, she was crouching down by this to give birth to this miscarriage, to this, doesn't know if it was just air or if it was actually something of substance. And then he wanted to know, and if it was a real nefel, he wanted to see if it was a zachar nekeva. If you want to say, going the chulda bardless mitzvim sham. So over there, the whole thing was a suffix. Right. Yeah. And if you want, you could say, even the chulda bardla mitzvim sham vada garu, that we don't consider it a suffix. A doubt, because the weasels are there, we say that it's a definite thing that they for sure took it. Right. I'll leave it over here. Oh, I took yours. Yeah. I'm sorry, I took yours.
By the way, we can infer from what we just learned before that a woman can, when the husband's away, the woman can go to the mikveh.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: doesn't it say that if a woman, if the husband's away, the woman has to sleep the night on her umbrella or something?
Yeah, that's much later. Introduced later. Yeah.
See, that would have resolved the problem. Is that ask her to check under the filters tonight? You know, she's good.
Very interesting. That's a good point. That's could be.
Why don't they do something? Meaning, if that's the case, and the woman knows the husband's coming home, let her leave.